Hello and welcome to my podcast about defragmentation. It's a process that reduces the amount of fragmentation in file systems. It does this by physically reorganising the contents of the hard drive to store the pieces of each file close to each other contiguously. It also attempts to create more free space by making the files more compact to prevent further fragmentation. Some defragmenters also try to keep smaller files within a single directory together, as they are often accessed in sequence. Fragmentation can happen when the operating system can't or won't allocate enough contiguous space to store a complete file as a unit, but instead puts parts of it in gaps between other files. These usually exist when they previously held a file that the operating system has deleted, or because the operating system allocated too much space for the file in the first place. Larger files and greater numbers of files can also contribute to fragmentation and therefore performance loss. Defragmentation can help solve these problems. Say there's a bookshelf in a library with 5 books on it, with authors' initials A, B, C, D and E. Each of the 5 spaces on the shelf, one for each initial, is 5 cm thick and are labelled respectively. The centimetres represent blocks of data in reality. On an empty shelf, all these books will be placed in their spaces. However, say you want to read book B. When you remove it from the shelf, it's common sense to leave book B space empty, because the order is kept alphabetical and you can simply put the book back into its original place and the next reader of the book can easily use it again. Now, if a new book whose author's initial is B and is 5 cm thick, it can be placed into the first 5 cm of space B, leaving the remaining 5 cm empty for another book. So, if we had a third book of initial B, which is 10 cm thick but has half its pages missing, it can occupy the space between the second B book and the space C. But the librarian takes the pages back into place, so the book is 10 cm thick again and so the 5 cm space is no longer available. Again, it's common sense to expand space B to leave enough room for the book. Repeat this several hundreds or thousands of times and eventually you'll end up with many spaces of different sizes on the shelf. Therefore, the librarian tidying the bookshelf represents the defragmenter, since the various segments, books with the same letter, of the spaces, files, are being incorporated into one space. So there you have it, the basics of defragmentation explained. Remember, if you find that your PC or office computer is running very slowly and performance is minimal, you can guarantee that it will need defragmenting. Try it now. Believe me, you'll notice a significant improvement in its performance,